All right, so welcome to Unit 5, Lesson 2, video lesson number 3. Example number 2 is a real-life problem, meaning this is a word problem. So this is also the one where we're going to have to do step 1, where we get the variable by itself, okay? So what I'd like you to do is to just read the story and underline the important parts like we've done before. And then I will help you write the equation and we'll solve the system and we'll do it all together. So pause the video, underline, and write the equation. Maybe try it on your own and maybe you can go over with me. Otherwise, just read through, underline, and come back to the video. All right, here we go. So I underlined that you're buying a total of 50 burgers, both turkey and veggie burgers together, 50 of them for $90. $2 for turkey burgers, $1.50 for each veggie burger. And we have to find how many turkey burgers, which is an X, and how many veggie burgers, which is in Y, you buy. So let's use this model to help us write the equation. So here we go. You have number of turkey burgers, and it's X because we actually have to find it. We don't know how many turkey burgers. We just know that it is represented as X. So we're going to leave it as X. The number of veggie burgers is in Y. So we're going to write it as Y because we don't know how many veggie burgers. We know from the very first information that the total number of burgers you buy is 50. It says a total of 50 turkey and veggie burgers. So 50 burgers. Our first equation will be X plus Y equals 50. Now I have to do the second equation. It tells me to use the cost per turkey burger. And if you look back in the story, it says each turkey burger is $2. So this is $2 here. And we know that number of turkey burgers is represented as X. And that's what we're trying to find. So let's leave that as X. And if you go back to the story again, it's $1.50 per veggie burger. So $1.50 for veggie burgers, $1.50. And we know that from the first equation, number of veggie burgers, we don't know, but it is in Y. And how much was it for everything together? It was $90. So I spent $90. Now I'm going to make this look a little more friendlier. So we have 2 times X plus 1.50 times Y equals 90. But if you rewrite that, that'll be 2X plus 1.50 Y equals 90. So those are 2 equations for this problem. Now, since we have the 2 equations, we're going to have to solve the system using substitution because that's the technique we're learning in this lesson. For step 1, if you look at both of these equations, you'll see that neither of them say either X equals or Y equals. So we have to do step 1 where we get a variable by itself. We need to find the blob. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this equation and I'm going to solve for X. So I'm going to make it look like X equals. So if I have X plus Y equals 50, I'm going to subtract Y both sides. Then I get X is equal to 50 minus Y. And that will be my blob. 50 minus y equals x. That's my blob. Now, step 2. Step 2, if you look at your notes, it says substitute the blob, which we found as x equals, into the second equation, then solve. So our second equation is 2x plus 1.50y equals 90. But we found that the blob is x equals 50 minus y. So if you look at your second equation, here's the x, and we're going to actually change by substituting the blob into x. So now we have 2 times 50 minus y instead of writing it as x. Then use this derivative property. You should get that 100 minus 2y plus 1.50y is 90. Since you have 2 y's, negative 2y plus 1.50y, that is going to be negative 0.50y. And you keep that 100 equals 90. Then subtract 100 both sides. So then you get negative 0.50y is equal to 90 minus 100 is negative 10. Now, to solve for y, we're going to divide both sides by negative 0.50. Cross it out. Y is equal to, if you put negative 10 divided by negative 0.50 in the calculator, you should have y equals 20. So we found from step 2 that y equals 20. And I forgot to write it as 2 here. Step 2, plug it into the other equation, and we found that y is equal to 20. So for our answer as an ordered pair, so far we only found the y value. We found the y value is 20. Now for step 3, we're going to use y equals 20 to find our x value. And how are we going to do that? Like we did before, find a simpler equation. This one or that one? This one for sure. So we're going to use the simpler one, which we picked as x plus y equals 50. That's the simpler equation we're going to work with. Now what we know is that y value is 20. So instead of writing as a y, we're going to substitute and change that to 20. So I'm going to use different color for that because we found that the y value is 20. Then to solve for x, we need to subtract both sides by 20. Then x is equal to 50 minus 20, which is 30. So we found that x is 30. And our answer for step 4, this here is step 4, that the ordered pair or our solution is 30, 20. Now, even though I found my x value and y value, this is a word problem. So we have to tell the reader what 30, 20 means. It's not just a random intersection point. There was a story behind this, right? So we need to write, because x is 30 and y is 20, and we don't know what x is, we don't know what y is. But from the story, we know that x is a number of turkey burgers. So basically, it means that you have 30 turkey burgers and you have, sorry, I can't write with this. How many veggie burgers? 20 veggie burgers. That's what this answer means. And every time you have a word problem, you need to explain in terms of the context. The question says, find the number of turkey burgers and number of veggie burgers you buy. And it's not just 30, 20, it's 30 turkey burgers and 20 veggie burgers as your final answer. So this is the end of example number 2, and this is also the end of the whole lesson. If you have any questions, please write them down and be ready to ask me. Any extra notes, staple them together, and please turn everything in together with your practice worksheet. Thank you.